All right, brave wilderness crew. Are you ready to get up close with some of nature's most misunderstood flying insects? I'm talking about bees and wasps. Now, before we dive in, let me share something totally wild. Did you know a honeybee has to visit about 2 million flowers just to make 1 single pound of honey? That is a mind-blowing amount of work for such a tiny creature. It's like flying from New York to Los Angeles and back. Multiple times. This incredible dedication is what makes bees so special. They are the marathon runners of the insect world, working tirelessly day in and day out, all for the good of their colony and, as we'll see, the entire planet. The easiest way to tell a bee from a wasp is to look at its body. It's like comparing a fuzzy teddy bear to a sleek, shiny action figure. Honeybees' bumblebees covered in tiny fuzzy hairs. This fuzz, setae, acts like Velcro for pollen. As a bee moves from flower to flower, pollen gets stuck all over its body. They end up round, robust, and a little chubby. Wasps have a totally different look, smooth, shiny bodies with very little or no hair. Think sleek fighter jet. Slender, streamlined bodies. A very narrow waist connects thorax and abdomen. That pinched waist, the petiole, screams wasp. Their look says predator. When it comes to dinner time, bees and wasps have completely different menus. Bees are strict vegetarians or herbivores. Their entire diet is based on flowers. Adult bees drink nectar. Nectar gives them the energy they need for flying and working all day. Think of it as their version of an energy drink. For their young, they collect pollen. Pollen is packed with protein and other nutrients. They gather this pollen on their fuzzy bodies, on special leg baskets, then take it back to the hive to feed larvae. Wasps, however, are omnivores. They eat plants. They eat animals. They are the ultimate opportunists. Adult wasps drink nectar from flowers, sip on fruit juices, sneak a taste of your sugary soda at a picnic. The sting. It's the one thing that everyone knows about bees and wasps, and it's where we find one of the biggest and most famous differences between them. Let's start with the honeybee. A honeybee's stinger is a magnificent and tragic tool. It is barbed, like a tiny fishhook. When a honeybee stings a mammal, human or a bear, those barbs get stuck in the skin. As the bee tries to fly away, the stinger rips out of its abdomen along with part of its digestive tract and muscles. This is a fatal injury for the bee. It makes the ultimate sacrifice to defend its colony. This is why honeybees are so reluctant to sting. They only do it as a last resort, when they feel their hive is in extreme danger. Once the stinger is in, it continues to pump venom into the wound, which is why it's important to remove it as quickly as possible. Wasps, on the other hand, play by a different set of rules. Their stingers are smooth like a needle. They don't have barbs, so they can sting a target, pull the stinger out, and fly away unharmed. This means a single wasp can sting you multiple times. Just as their bodies and diets are different, bees and wasps are master architects that build completely different kinds of homes. Honeybees are famous for their incredible nests made of wax. The worker bees have special glands on their abdomens that produce tiny flakes of beeswax. They chew this wax to make it soft and pliable, then carefully sculpt it into perfect hexagonal cells. These cells fit together to form the iconic honeycomb structure. This design is incredibly strong and efficient, allowing them to store the maximum amount of honey and pollen in the smallest possible space. These waxy cities are built in sheltered locations like hollow trees, caves, or even inside the walls of buildings. The honeycomb serves as a nursery for raising young, a pantry for storing food, and the central hub of the entire colony's life. Wasps, on the other hand, are master paper makers. A queen wasp starts the nest by scraping tiny wood fibers from trees, fences, or even cardboard. She chews these fibers and mixes them with her saliva to create a soft pulp. As this pulp dries, it hardens into a strong, lightweight, paper-like material. Her daughters, the worker wasps, will then continue building the nest, expanding it throughout the summer. Wasp nests can be found in all sorts of places. Paper wasps build open, umbrella-shaped nests, often hanging from eaves or branches, while hornets and yellow jackets may create large enclosed globe nests or nest underground in burrows. When it comes to attitude, bees and wasps have very different personalities. Honeybees are generally quite docile and gentle. When they are out foraging for nectar, when they are out foraging for pollen, they are focused on their job. They have no interest in you and will usually ignore you completely unless you accidentally swat at them or step on them. The only time honeybees become aggressive is when they feel their home is under attack. The hive is their entire world. It contains their queen, their young, and all their food stores. If you get too close to a beehive, the guard bees will see you as a threat. They will send out alarm signals and a defense force may come out to investigate and, if necessary, sting the intruder. Their aggression is almost always defensive and localized to the area around their nest. Wasps, particularly social wasps like yellow jackets and hornets, can be much more aggressive and unpredictable. They are hunters and scavengers, bold and persistent when they smell food. This can bring them into closer and more frequent contact with humans, especially at picnics, barbecues, and around trash cans. We've talked about their fuzzy bodies and vegetarian diets, but let's really dive into why bees are one of the most important animals on the planet. Their role as pollinators is nothing short of heroic. About 1/3 of the food we eat depends on pollination by insects. Bees are the undisputed champions of this job. Every time you eat an apple, an almond, a blueberry, or a cucumber, as they travel from flower to flower, they are performing a service that is essential for agriculture and for the survival of countless wild plants. This partnership creates the fruits, the vegetables, the seeds that form the foundation of many food webs. Without them, our food supply would be in serious trouble. Without them, our grocery stores would look empty, and entire ecosystems would be at risk of collapse. They are truly a keystone species, holding the arch of biodiversity together. The good news is, we can all be part of the solution. Planting native wildflowers and avoiding pesticides helps. Even something as simple as leaving a shallow dish of water with pebbles can give a thirsty bee a safe place to drink. By taking these small steps, we can help protect these vital pollinators and ensure they continue their critical work for generations to come. It's easy to see bees as the heroes and wasps as the villains, but that's not the whole story. Wasps play a crucial, though less celebrated role in the environment. They are nature's highly efficient cleanup crew and pest control experts. As predators, they hunt and eat a massive number of other insects and arthropods, many of which are garden pests. This makes them valuable for controlling caterpillars that chew our vegetables, flies that spread disease, and spiders we might not want in our houses. A single colony of wasps can remove several pounds of insect pests over the course of a summer. This reduces the need for chemical pesticides that can harm beneficial insects like bees. Beyond hunting, wasps are important scavengers, feeding on fallen fruit and carcasses, helping recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. Surprisingly, certain wasps also pollinate, fig wasps for example, so they do contribute to plant reproduction even if not as efficiently as bees. They are jack of all trades, part hunter, part cleaner, and part-time pollinator, an essential part of a balanced ecosystem. So after our deep dive into the world of bees and wasps, what's the big takeaway? So, after our deep dive into the world of bees and wasps, what's the big takeaway? So, after our deep dive into the world of bees and wasps, what's the big takeaway? The most important thing to remember is that both of these insects are incredibly important. The bee is the fuzzy farmer, the master pollinator that helps grow the food on our tables. The wasp is the sleek hunter, the guardian of the garden that keeps pest populations in check. They have different bodies, different diets, and different jobs, but they are both essential players on Team Ecosystem. Without them, our world would be a much less healthy and less productive place. Now you know how to tell them apart. Look for the fuzzy, robust body of a bee versus the shiny, slender body of a wasp. Remember that a bee stings only once to defend its home, while a wasp can sting multiple times. This knowledge gives you power, the power to understand their behavior and react appropriately. If you see a bee foraging on a flower, you can admire it without fear. If you see a wasp nest, give it a wide berth. By protecting their habitats, avoiding pesticides, and giving them their space, we can ensure both bees and wasps continue to thrive. They are not our enemies. They are our wild neighbors, and they deserve our respect and protection. Stay wild and never stop exploring.